Hello and welcome everyone to this new video about front-end development. In this video, I will be going through the HTML basics. The HTML document consists of elements, we call them tags. I will introduce tags using a specific tag, which is the paragraph tag. So if you remember from the previous videos, each element has a starting tag and a closing tag, and those have the same name. As you can see here, it's only this letter P. Each tag is surrounded by smaller than character and a larger than character. And inside them, we have the tag name, which is here only this letter P for paragraph. The closing tag will have an extra forward slash here. I will show that also tags have attributes. Each attribute has a name and a value. And we assign the value to this name using the assignment operator equal. Then I will show some tags for formatting text, such as the break tag, which allow us to write a new line. I will show also that tags can be nested. So some tags can contain other tags inside them. This will allow us to organize our document in a tree-like structure. I will show you how we will navigate this document structure using the devtools. These are a set of tools which are available through the browser. More tags for text. I will go through more tags for text formatting. We have tags starting from H1 till H6 for headings, and there are tags to make bold text, italic text, deleted, mark, superscripts, and subscripts. I will also show how we can make an unordered list of items using the UL tag, and then an ordered list of items using the OL tag. And of course, we will be adding an image using the img tag and an anchor, which represent a link which can refer to another page or to another place inside the same page. So let me now open VS Code. So as you can see, VS Code opens with the last project which we have last time. Let me make a folder and open it for this video. I will make a new folder here. And we'll select it. As you can see now here, we have an empty folder. Let us start by adding a new document, doc.html. And let me open this document as we did in the previous tutorials using right click and open with live server. As you can see now, our document is opened inside the browser. So here's the name of our document, doc.html. The address here is pointing to our local host. So this is the IP address reserved for localhost, and this is the port which the live server is listening to. So the live server is emulating for us a web server which is running locally, where we can browse different documents. So in the previous tutorial, we added the HTML tag to display a simple page. In this tutorial, I will start by typing some text and saving it using Ctrl S. And now if I refresh the page, the text will appear here. We did not require any special HTML tags for this. However, the tags make for us a descriptive language, the HTML language, which describe how our document is organized. So for example, let's say that you have a big text. So I will open here the HTML elements reference from Mozilla. As you can see here, we have a huge document with a lot of text. So let me copy some of the text here and put it inside our document. And let us refresh now our document. You can see now the text is not formatted as here in this web page. And that's because we have not told the web browser how to format this text. Note that also the line break at this line here and at the end of this line. So here we have an empty line between these two paragraphs. All these new lines and empty spaces are ignored by the web browser. So we can test that more. Let me add a line break here after this word, and then also here to display all the text without horizontal scrolling. And let me save and refresh. And nothing is changed. So basically we can add as much white spaces as we want. And in the view of the HTML document, these white spaces will be wrapped to one space, as you can see here. To format this document, we need to tell the web browser the structure of our page. So here, for example, in this page, we have a header, then we have one paragraph and the second paragraph. And to tell the browser that we have a new paragraph, we can simply add the tag paragraph. So you can see that Visual Studio Code already added for us the closing tag. And we want to put this text here inside between the start and end tag. And now we are telling the web browser that we have a paragraph which starts here at this word and ends up after this full stop. Let me save the document and refresh. And now you can see that we already have a new paragraph here. Let me try also to add more spaces here inside the paragraph. You will see that this spaces is not added. And you can add now a second paragraph here. a third one if you like. And let me refresh. You can see that we have 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. But since we want to stick up with the format of this page here, so I will remove this paragraph. So now we only have 2 paragraphs, as you can see here. This property that HTML ignores extra white spaces can be used, so we format our HTML document in a way which makes it easier to read. For example, for big paragraphs, we can have the starting tag on one line, and then we start the text on the next line, and we have the closing tag on another line, and we can also add tabs here if you like. Still, now if we refresh, no changes in the document view in the web browser. So let me also format this tag here. And now, as you can see, our HTML source code is now more readable. We can see that we already here have a header. Let me also remove the extra spaces here. And then we have 2 paragraphs. HTML tags can have attributes. So for example, the paragraph tag has an attribute called title. And we add this attribute between this smaller than and larger than sign by adding a space here after the name of the tag and then writing the attribute name. Then the assignment operator, and then between these 2 quotations, we can give this paragraph a title. Let's call it top text, and let me refresh the page. And now you can see if we hover over this paragraph, our title, which is top text, appears as a tooltip here. Note that if we hover the mouse over the next paragraph, nothing appears. We can add also here, again, another tooltip using the attribute title, and then we put yet another paragraph. Let me save the document and refresh the page. And now you can see the tooltip for this paragraph too. You will see through this course that different HTML tags have different attributes, and each attribute control a certain aspect of this HTML tag and tell the browser what to do or how to render this HTML tag. Now let me introduce the line break tag. Note that if we make our document smaller, that when this sentence ends, the next sentence starts after it directly. Let's say that now we want to have this sentence starting on a new line. If we did that using a paragraph, that would add an extra white space in front of it. Let's make our text such it has that 3 paragraphs. And let's see how this looks. You can see that we have now a lot of white space here. However, if we use now the line break tag, this tag is simply written as PR for break. Since we will be closing the tags at the same place, we can use this shorthand. And now if we refresh the page, you can see that the space here is much less than the space between 2 paragraphs. So the line break helps us to write new lines. There are many other text formatting tags. So for example, the heading tag. So here we have our header, and we want to make this header bold. For that, we can use the HTML tag h1, for example. Now, as you can see, we have here our bold and large text because of this h1 tag. We can make it smaller by using other headers, for example, h2 tag. You can see now it's smaller. We have heading tags from h1 till h6. Let us try the smallest one, h6. You can see now the text is bold, but much smaller than with h1. Let us go back here to h2 for now, because we want to make the style similar to this text here. And let me also remove the break, and let us go through more text formatting tags. Now let's assume that we want to have an italic text. And for that, let me copy this text here. And let's say we want this text to be italic. For that, we can use the tag I, which stands for italic, and any text we put it between these starting and closing tag, it will appear italic in the document, as you can see here. We can also have bold text using the tag B, and deleted text using the tag del. Note that I always have to match the starting tag and the closing tag. Let us refresh the document now. So now you can see here we have italic, bold, and deleted text. And let me show you the superscript tag and the subscript tag. And let us refresh. So you can see the superscript tag will raise the text a little bit, and the superscript will lower them. To see that, let me put some text in between here, and let's add line breaks for each line here. And so I will save and refresh. So this is the normal text. This is this part here, and then the superscript, this part here. Then we have the line break here, and then another normal text and subscript. So we break, start normal text, and then subscript here. So let me now remove this text. And to do that, I will show you how to make comments in HTML pages. So a comment is a block of text which is ignored by the browser. Let's say that we want to tell the browser to ignore this block of text. We can do that simply by starting with smaller than sign, adding exclamation mark and 2 dashes. You can see now that VS Code already added for us the closing for this tag, which is 2 dashes and larger than. We can cut this closing part and put it at the end of the text which we want the browser to ignore. You can see that VS Code already recognized this text and colored it by green, and that means this text is a comment and it will be ignored by the browser. Now if I saved, by the way, notice that if the document is not saved, we have a circle here. When I save it by pressing Ctrl S, so the icon has changed. And now let me refresh the web page. Now you can see that all the text here is ignored. An amazing property of HTML documents is that we can include tags within other tags. So till now, if you noticed, we were using like a heading tag and closing it directly here, and then paragraph tag, closing it directly, then starting another one. However, we can nest those tags. Let us, for example, say that we want only this word here to be bold. For that, I can surround this word by a B tag. Let me do that. And now you can see that this bold tag is started inside the paragraph tag. So we need to close it before we close the paragraph tag. And of course, we close it here. Let me refresh. And now you can see that this text here is bold. So now let's assume that we want all this text here, starting from HTML till help here, to be bold. To do that, maybe you want to do something like starting the bold tag here by the HTML and then closing it after this word help. And this will give you the effects which you want. This is work for you because the browser recognized what you want to do. However, this is not a good style. The better way to do this is to close this tag here and then start another bold tag inside the second paragraph. And this is very important because now we know that this bold tag is contained inside this paragraph tag, while the other bold tag here is contained inside this other paragraph. While in the previous case, that was not clear for us. Let me now introduce for you the two types of lists which are used in HTML. So the first type of list is the unordered list, and for that we use the tag UL for unordered list. And as you can see, we already now have the closing tag for that. Now between these two tags, we can write our items. Each item would start with another tag called list item, li, and it has also the corresponding closing tag. And here we can write the items, for example, item 1, and you can list all the items which you have. Let's say that we have now 4 items. And let me refresh here. You can see this is our unordered list. And similarly, we have another type of list called ordered list. It goes the same as the unordered list, except for the tag, which is in this case OL for ordered list. Now if we save and refresh, now we have a numbered list. So starting from 1 to 4, let me comment this unordered list by using smaller than exclamation mark and 2 dashes, and then taking this closing part till here, and let us put the tags which we learned inside this ordered list. So we already started by P, which stands for paragraph. And then we have another tag we learned about, the B tag, which stands for bold text, then italic text, then deleted text, because we also learned about superscript and subscript, ordered list, and let me refresh the page. And now we have a list of some of the tags which we learned in this lesson. Let us make the name of the tag bold. So let's add B here for all of them. For that, let me show you another good feature of VS Code. So in VS Code, we can add multiple cursors. I will press now the Alt key, and then I can click with the mouse where I want to add the next cursor while keeping the Alt key pressed. So I will add a cursor here. here, here, and here. And now I can start inserting text in all these lines at the same time. So I will now be writing smaller than b and closing this tag. And let me delete the closing tag, which has been added automatically by vscode. And let me move the cursor. And let me now do the same now for the closing tag here. And I will close the p. As you can see, we simply edited all these lines at the same time now. Now let me save and refresh. Yeah, very nice. And now let's correct the structure of our document. So all HTML tags must be contained inside the HTML tag. So now I will add this HTML tag. I will surround the whole document with it. And inside the HTML tag, we should have always the header, and the body of our page should be surrounded by the body tag. So let me surround all these tags here by the body. And let us add some tabs here. You can see that VS Code already recognizing the structure. So now we can, for example, the body, we can close it. Everything in the HTML page starts here and end up here. All the tags describing this page here inside the body tag. Let's save and refresh. Another tag which each HTML document should have is the head tag. So let me add the head tag here. Inside this tag, we can define the title of the page using another tag called title. So let's call this page HTML basics. You can notice now when I save the page will be refreshed automatically. And as you can see now, the title appears here, which is outside the page, and that's why it's written inside the header and not inside the body. Another tag which is recommended to have in every HTML document is the document type tag. This is a special tag which does not have a closing tag, and it starts by exclamation mark and then doc type, and for us the document type should be always HTML. Now as you can see, our page is already structured in a tree-like structure where the top of our tree is this HTML tag. Inside it, we have two child tags, so the head and the body, and each one of these tags could contains also multiple child tags. So here we have only the title. However, in the body, we have, for example, this ordered list, which have items, and inside the items, we have other types of tags. Let us now explore this tree-like structure of the HTML document using the development tools, which comes with the web browser. For that, let me make the web browser a little bit bigger. And this is Chrome. By pressing the F12 key, the development tools will appear. You can see now here to the right, we have the devtools. We can make the part of the devtools bigger or smaller as you wish. And inside this devtools, there are many tabs here, as you can see. We have the source. Let me make it bigger. Inside the source, you can see the source of our HTML document. In the Elements tab, we can display the structure of our document. And when I hover the mouse over a tag here, the part of the HTML document which is represented by this tag will be highlighted. As you can see here now, the whole page is highlighted. If I now go into the header, nothing is highlighted because the header, this part here outside the page. Now let's go to the body tag. You can see that the body tag spans the whole page here, while the header is only this upper part of the page. And you can see now the tree-like structure here. So if I collapse the body, you can see that everything is included here inside the body tag. And let me go now, for example, to the ordered list tag. You can see that inside the ordered list, so you can see that the whole list is selected, and inside it we have 8 tags, and each one of these tags contains other tags like this bold tag and text, some text. Another good feature in this DevTools, this select element tool here, where you can click on it and then go on the web page and select an element which you want to inspect. Let's say that we want to inspect this paragraph here. By clicking on it, you can see the corresponding element in the web page, and that will be very useful, especially when we start using style sheets. You can also see that there are some styles here. Although we did not add any style yet to our document, these are the default styles. And of course, you have also the computed styles. We will go through this later when we go through the cascading style sheets. And we will be learning more about this development tools in the future. So now let me press F12 to hide them. And now let me introduce the last two tags for today's tutorial, and these are the image and anchor tag. So for the image tag, I already prepared two images. Let me paste them inside this folder. They are called smile and sad. Let me add an image here inside this paragraph. So the image tag starts with EMG and it's a special tag. It cannot include other tags, and that's why when I close it, VS Code does not add a closing tag. Such a tag is called void tag. We have other tags like this. Whenever we come across such a tag, I will indicate that. So now one important attribute for the image tag is the source attribute. I define it by simply writing src, and then we can assign for this attribute the image we want to display. So in this case, let's say we want to display the smile.png. So we simply write it as smile.png. Let me save, and the page will be refreshed automatically. And as you can see, the image appears here in this paragraph. Let me put it maybe after the first line here. You can see the image is very big compared to the text. So we can make this image smaller by using other attributes. So there is the width attribute where we can assign a width for our image. Let me put it to 20, and we can have a unit for this. 20, I will be using pixels. So now the width of our image is 20 pixels, and you can see it's the height's already adjusted correspondingly. However, we can also, if we like, have a height tag, and if we now put the height to 10 pixels, you can see that the image looks squished since the height is smaller than the width. So let me put it back here to 20. It looks okay. There is another important attribute for the image, which is called the alternative. You write this attribute by using alt, and you can assign to this attribute a text. Let's say this is a smiley face. You can see nothing is changed. However, let's say for some reason your image is not there. Maybe you have the path wrong or some other error happened. For example, let me use a wrong name here. So now you can see that the text, this is smiley face, appears here. So this is alternative text appears if the image is not loaded for some reason. Let me refresh now this page, and let me explain a little bit more about the source attribute. So for this example, we had our smile image directly beside our HTML page. That's why it worked for us when we wrote smile.png like this. But let's assume that we already have a folder called images. Inside this folder, we already organized our images. So let's move these two images. And now, as you can see, our image cannot be loaded because this path is wrong, and we need to correct it. For that, we need to write the path to the image, and now it's inside the folder called images. And then we use this / and then the name of the image. And now, as you can see, the image appears correctly here. And now this is a relative path starting from our current folder, which is this video 3, and going to the images folder and then to our image. We can be sure about that by just adding the character for the current folder, which is the dot. So this is like saying that starting from the current folder, go to the images folder and then the smile.png. Let me save, and you can see it still work. And of course, if we want to go to the parent folder, so we can use, as we did in the ls command, we can use 2 points. So let's say now from the current folder, we went to the images, then we went parent folder, which means we are back to the project folder, the vid3 folder. And now if we saved, you can see now the image disappeared because this is the wrong path. And then we can actually go again to the images and the image will appear again. This is just to show you how you can use this relative path. So let me explain that again. So from the current folder, we went inside the images folder, then we went to the parent folder, and then again to the images folder. Of course, in the practice, we will not write like this. We will just use this path here, but I just wanted you to practice using these relative paths. You can, of course, put an absolute path here. So if you have an image on the internet which you want to use, you can put the absolute path of the image. Now let me introduce the last tag for this tutorial, which is the anchor tag. So we define an anchor tag by simply using a start tag with the name a, and let's close this tag, and we can put some text here, and let's save it. You can see now nothing special about this text. So the anchor tag allows us to define a link, and that is done using the attribute href for hyperreference. And inside this href attribute, we can put the link we want to open. We go to this HTML element reference, and you can see here we have this tag HTML, and when we click on it, it opens this page for us. So I will copy the same link and put it here. Now let me save, and you can see now that our anchor page differently, and when we click on it, it navigates us to this page, same as here. There is another useful attribute in the anchor tag, and this attribute is called target. Inside this target, we can use underscore blank as a target, and now if we clicked over the link, let me go back to the page, refresh it, and now if we click on this link, it will not open in this page. Let me close these two here. However, it will rather open in a new page, as you will see. So now it opened a new tab for us where our previous tab is still there. And that's because we added this target blank. Let me put this on another line so that we can see all the elements of this tag without scrolling. Inside the add tag, we can put other tags, for example, an image. Let me put this image. And now you can also even click on the image and it will open the web link in a new tab as before. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope that this was not too much for you. If you feel like this, you can practice it. You can open any page with some text and images and you try to construct a page which is similar to it, and that will make you better. So keep practicing and hope to see you in the next video. Bye.